Level 1. No coverage. You are 34. A pain under your right ribs 11 days now. You have not seen a doctor. Because a doctor costs money already assigned to rent. So you wait until it wakes you at 2 in the morning. Then drive to the only door that cannot turn you away. A triage nurse named Denise Okafor takes your vitals in a hallway. The rooms are full. She is 9 hours into a 12-hour shift. You are her 41st patient. She assigns you a number between 1 and 5. 1 means you die without help. 5 means you could have gone to a clinic. She writes a 3 and sends you back to wait. The law that got you through that door is EMTALA 1986. Any hospital taking Medicare money must screen and stabilize you, regardless of whether you can pay. It does not say treat, it says stabilize. A floor, not a service. The national median time in an emergency department is 2 hours 40 minutes. Yours runs longer. A 3 never moves ahead of a 2. You watch 2 ambulances arrive. Both of those patients go back before you do. At 4:15, a physician assistant presses your abdomen for 90 seconds. He says, probably gallstones. He hands you a referral to a surgeon. You will never call him. The surgery is the expensive part. You drive home at 6. The sun comes up over a parking lot you paid $11 to sit in. Nobody was cruel. Denise did her job precisely. The system delivered the legal minimum. And here the minimum is the product. Level 2. Collections. You are 35. The bill arrives in 3 envelopes across 6 weeks. $940 for the visit. $1,100 for the ultrasound. $260 for a radiologist, who was never in the building. You pay none of it. Because you do not have $2,300. For 4 months, nothing happens. Then a man named Ray Alvarado calls. Ray does not work for the hospital. Ray works for a company that bought your file. Hospitals sell aged debt in bundles, for a fraction of face value. Everything Ray recovers above what his employer paid is margin. He is carrying more than 100 accounts this month. He is polite. He is trained to be. He offers a payment plan, then offers to settle the whole thing for $700. He calls it a courtesy. You take the settlement, or you do not. Either way. Something changes that has nothing to do with money. The next time your body does something strange, you wait longer. Not 11 days. 19. You have learned what a door costs. And that number is now attached to the memory of pain. Ray never touched your body. He never gave you a diagnosis or withheld one. What he did was adjust the price you attach to your own symptoms. You will carry that for years. What the hospital lost on you, it recovers elsewhere, folded into the price charged to people who do pay. Which is why the ultrasound cost $1,100 in the first place. The gallstones are still there. You are just quieter about them now. Level 3, Medicaid. You are 36. Your income fell far enough to qualify, which means the event that got you coverage was getting poorer. I have a card now. The card is real. What it does not tell you is how many doctors take it. A scheduling coordinator named Priya Raman works the phones at a clinic that does. On a Monday, she has 160 calls in her queue and 4 open new patient slots that month. She is not gatekeeping. She is doing subtraction out loud, 40 times an hour. She gives you the second week of March. It is January. She also reads you the no-show policy, miss 2, and you come off the panel. She says it kindly. It is still a rule. The gallstones do not know about March. You return to the emergency department twice, the only part of the system that answers on the day you call. 92% of hospitalizations for uninsured patients begin at that same door. March arrives. The visit runs 12 minutes. You are referred to a surgeon. That office calls back. They are not accepting your plan. You ask for another name. There is another name. They are booking into August. The reason is not that surgeons dislike you. Medicaid reimburses a fraction of what commercial insurance pays for the same operation. A practice that fills its schedule with Medicaid cannot cover its own overhead. So most of them cap how many they accept each quarter. The card did not buy you medicine. It moved you to a different line. Bronze plan. You are 38. You took contract work. and bought the cheapest plan on the marketplace. You are now insured. Say it out loud, and it sounds like the problem is solved. The deductible is somewhere between $5,000 and $9,000. The plan pays nothing toward ordinary care until you clear that number first. For anything short of catastrophe, you are uninsured with a monthly payment. A patient financial counselor named Marisol Vega explains this at a desk in a hallway alcove. Her job exists because the plans are complicated enough to require a translator. She has this conversation 9 times a day. There is a box of tissues in her second drawer. Neither of you mentions it. She runs the numbers with you. The surgery falls inside your deductible. You will pay for it. But she also tells you the thing that is genuinely worth having. If something goes wrong on the table, the plan caps what you can lose. That cap is the real product. You did not buy care. You bought a ceiling. You scheduled a surgery. You put $4,000 on a card. Finance the rest through the hospital at 0%, an offer many large nonprofit hospitals make. Almost nobody thinks to ask for it, because they would rather have your money slowly than sells your file to Ray. Marisol tells you to ask for an itemized bill before you pay anything, and to ask whether the hospital has a financial assistance policy. Nonprofit hospitals are required to have one, and almost nobody asks. Level 5. You are 39. You took a warehouse logistics job, partly for the coverage. A sentence that would need explaining in most wealthy countries. The deductible drops to $4,000. The employer covers most of the premium. Nothing about your health changed. Your employment did. You have a primary care physician now. His name is Dr. Aaron Vance. He carries a panel of roughly 2,200 patients. That number is not a failure of ambition. It is arithmetic. At what insurance reimburses per visit, a practice survives on volume. Volume cuts the calendar into 15-minute pieces. You get one piece. You came in with 3 things to ask about. You ask about 1. 15 minutes is enough to manage a known problem. It is not enough to go looking for an unknown one. Nobody points this out. And it will matter later. He runs a full blood panel. The results come back and land in your chart. 2 values sit slightly outside the reference range. Not alarming. Not nothing. Nobody calls you about them. Because nobody is paid for the 15 minutes. It would take to think about a number that is only slightly wrong. The surgery happens. It goes well. Then the paperwork starts. Facility charge, anesthesia, pathology. Each in its own envelope, across 10 weeks. Dr. Vance never sees a line of it. He treated you. Someone else priced you. 2 companies, 2 incentives. No conversation. The silence is not an oversight. It is the design. At this level, you are finally inside the system, instead of outside it. The system returns your calls. It returns them in 11 business days. 6. Premium PPO, you are 44. You are salaried, senior enough to choose the expensive plan. The expensive plan changes one variable. The network gets wider. You feel it the first time. You want a particular specialist, instead of an available one. They take your plan. You are seen in 9 days instead of 11 weeks. But there is now a person between you and the thing your doctor ordered. Her name is Colleen Byrne. She works in prior authorization. Her job is to take a physician's request, hold it against a list of plan criteria, and approve it or send it back. She moves more than 30 a day. And she has never met a patient. Your MRI is denied on first submission. Not because you do not need it. Because the notes lack the phrase, the criteria required. The office resubmits with different wording. It clears in 4 days. Nothing about your body changed between the denial and the approval. The sentence changed. On each of those 4 days, someone in a physician's office was on the phone instead of with a patient. Practices hire people specifically for this. The cost of that argument sits inside your premium. And inside the 15 minutes, you were given at level 5. When a specialist you want sits outside the plan entirely, the plan still pays a share instead of nothing, which converts an impossible bill into an expensive one. This is the level where you learn the fight is not between you and an illness. It is between 2 filing systems, and you are the document they are arguing over. Level 7. Concierge Retainer, you are 51. You pay $3,000 a year to a practice. On top of the insurance you still carry. That retainer buys one thing. Dr. Elena Sarkis keeps a panel of 540 patients instead of 2,200. That is the whole mechanism. Fewer patients, more minutes for each. Your first appointment runs 70 minutes. Nobody has spent 70 consecutive minutes on your body since you were born. She asks about your sleep. She asks what your father died of. Then she scrolls backward through your chart, past the surgery, past the referrals, to a blood panel from 12 years ago. She stops on two values that sit slightly outside the reference range. She asks whether anyone ever followed up on those. Nobody did. The information was already there, sitting in your file through the Medicaid clinic and the 15-minute visits, legible the entire time. And no one was paid to look. That is the product, not a better drug, not a better machine. Someone with the time to read backward. You have her cell number. You use it twice that year and feel like a nuisance both times. Dr. Sarkis trained at the same schools as Dr. Vance. She reads the same journals. The ultrasound machine is identical. 2,200 patients gives a physician a few minutes of thought per person per year. 540 gives 4 times that. 4 times almost nothing is still the difference between a number being seen and a number sitting there. What you bought is a doctor who does not need your throughput and can therefore afford to be curious. Level 8. Private physician. You are 58. The retainer is now $40,000 a year. It goes to one physician carrying fewer than 50 patients. A man named Robert Tsai runs the executive health program at the hospital your foundation gives to. Robert treats nobody, he coordinates. When a scan comes back ambiguous, he does not send you to a specialist and wait. He puts 4 of them in a room for 90 minutes on a Thursday. They read your images in front of each other. At every level below this one. Specialists communicate by writing notes into a chart the next one skims. Here they argue out loud, and a disagreement gets settled in the room, instead of across 6 weeks of referrals. The weighting has inverted. At level 1, you waited on the system. At level 8, the system holds a Thursday open in case you need it. You are moved once for a second opinion. The word used in the email is transported. There is no wait, because the wait was purchased in advance. In the form of a physician paid to be underbooked, it is still the same medicine. The gallbladder came out the way it comes out at level 5. Any hospital could do this. The reason it does not, nobody is paid to hold 4 calendars open against a possibility. You did not buy a better body. You bought other people's time. 8 levels. One system priced by how fast it can be paid. Denise Okafor sorted a hallway of strangers at 2 in the morning. Robert Tsai holds a Thursday open for one man. Strip away the salaries and the buildings. They perform the identical function, deciding whose problem gets a doctor's attention, and for how many minutes. Neither of them decides who is sick. Biology distributes that, and biology does not check a balance. What money distributes is minutes. And the thing that was wrong with you at 51 was already sitting in your file at 39. Nobody hid it. Nobody was paid to read it. Somewhere tonight, a woman has a pain under her right ribs. She is doing arithmetic about rent. She will wait until 2 in the morning, because the only door that cannot turn her away is also the slowest one in the building. If you have been on either side of that hallway, say which one.